Hi, I'm Ken Leibow with InsurTech Express. Today I want to demonstrate an innovative tool called eRequirement by Paperless Solutions Group. eRequirement fills a huge hole in the underwriting process for life insurance. After a life insurance application is submitted, it is challenging to chase down new underwriting requirements, and specifically those non-standard requirements. As an example, a form was submitted where a client missed an answer to a question, or based on an answer to a question, the underwriter needs additional information. So even with a pending case status on the carrier's agent portal, there's no formal process to capture these requirements. The information being requested is either provided over the phone, attached to emails, or sent via standard mail. It's all haphazard, and it really impacts cycle time. We all know the longer the cycle time, the lower the placement ratio. I'm now going to walk you through eRequirement. Okay, eRequirement requires a secure login, and I'm logging into a demo site right now as an administrator. And so if I was an underwriter, I would log into eRequirement, or I may be set up as a single sign-on to my current portal that I work out of from my office. And so at this point, if I wanted to get a form completed by a client, I can request a form. So I go under eRequirement here, click on Request Forms, and I'm going to choose Banner Life. Assuming if I'm a carrier, obviously there would only be me as the carrier, Banner Life as the only carrier option. If this is being used by a distributor, like a brokerage general agency, then there may be multiple carriers on it. So it all depends on who's using eRequirement to get forms or questions answered for underwriting or even delivery purposes. So in this case, I'm going to go look for a list of forms. And so let me go ahead and choose a state, because a lot of these forms are state specific. I live in North Carolina, so I'm just going to use North Carolina as the state. And I'm going to pick a form like COVID-19 questionnaire. Didn't even know there was a COVID-19 questionnaire, but I'm going to pick the COVID-19 questionnaire as the form. Now I'm going to put in the client's name, POS number, and case number. I could also have a lookup for that, but in this case, because it's a demo site, I'm just going to make up it. I'm just going to say Jane Doe and put in the client's email address. And I'll put in my email address so I can see the email, ken@InsurTechExpress.com, and put in the policy number, B123889. And if there was a case number, like if I was a BGA and I had a case number, I put in the case number, C345234, or I could leave the case number blank if I'm just the carrier. This is for authentication purposes. So the last 4 digits of the client's social security number, and I'll just put in 1111, just so I can remember it. And driver's license number, I'll put NC1111. Zip code, I'll put 27614. And date of birth, I'll put 01/01/1967. Just making up a date of birth. So any one of these could be used to authenticate when the client receives the email. So now I click on Request Forms. And this is what the forms look like. Now, if I know any of the answers to the questions, or if we had this specific form in the repository, but the client forgot to answer questions, the cool thing about this is that those answers would be there and the ones missing would be highlighted in yellow. But in this situation, we're just sending the client a form that needs to be completed. So I'm just looking at next, clicking next, and it's now been sent to Jane Doe. email address. In this case, it's my email address, so I can see the email. So let me go ahead and go to my inbox here, sync up my email. It should arrive any moment now. And when I do get the email, then I'm going to be asked to authenticate myself, and I'll need to fill out the form and then put an e-signature on it to authorize it. So okay, the email has arrived, and it says, "Dear Jane Doe, Banner Life Insurance Company has prepared a document related to your insurance application for your complete and sign. These additional documents are required in order for your policy to be approved. Please click below to begin. Thank you." Now, this is going to be from the carrier or from the agent or from the BGA, and the template for the letter can be defined by the carrier or the BGA, whoever's sending it. So again, this is just a demo email. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the link, and it's going to ask me what's my last 4 digits of my social security number, and that's going to be 1111. Remember, I'm Jane Doe here, and I'm going to click authenticate, and here's my questionnaire. So it's asking me questions about do I have fever or cough and shortness of breath. I'm just going to say no to all these things, okay? Sore throat, if you do, they want some more information. Have you been advised from a medical profession? So are you fully recovered? I'm going to say not applicable because I don't have a problem. I am going to put in my city and state, so Raleigh. Again, I'm Jane Doe, North Carolina. I'm going to click next here. And you can see the actual form has been completed. All right, so the next step is signature. So whenever we whenever we go ahead and complete answering the questions, we just want to validate, even though we authenticated that person, that they're also the same person who's answering the questions. So we're going to click sign, which is going to create the artifact of the time and the date and the IP address where this was signed. Okay, and at that point, going to click finish, and we're done. So then we go, as the administrator, I'm going to get notified, and I can look at my my reports and my requests. So if I go to, say, review requests, I have this little dashboard here, which I can filter, sort, or whatever, and it's showing Jane Doe, and it says she actually signed it, which she did. And at this point, I'm going to click done, to know that it's not going to be on a follow-up list or any of these follow-up reports that I have. In the meantime, the agent got notified, gets a notification that will say that, hey, your client answered these questions and also assigned the form, with the answers. So here we go. Dear Ken Leibow, because I'm the agent, your client, Jane Doe, has completed and signed the requested documents. And basically, as an agent, I can look at and get a copy of the questionnaire. Okay, so which is pretty cool. All right, so that's the first thing. Now, the next example, this is with a form. Imagine you have an underwriting requirement where you need the answer to a question. Okay, so this is really cool. So based on that, if I go ahead and say request forms again, I'm going to pick Banner Life. All right, but this time I'm going to click Add Custom Questionnaire. All right, and with that, I'm going to put in the different client's name. I'll put Robert Jones. I'll put in my email address again. Again, we can have this be connected to a lookup in your home office system. And with the policy number B56789. That's 4 digits. We'll make it 2222, driver's license NC2222. This is for authenticating the person, zip code, and date of birth 01/02/1965. Click Request Forms. Now, this is instead of a form, we need an answer to a question. So there are two choices, two types of choices. You can do a free text question, or you can have some prefab questions, or questions that get asked all the time. Okay? So, for example, there could be something around prescriptions. The record noted that you were prescribed a certain medication, but for whatever reason, they never provided the name of the medication, the frequency of use or dosage, etc., and maybe an RX wasn't ordered. So that's one option, to use a pre-formed question that you can save in the system, or you can do a free text question. So let's say, for example, the client answered yes to bankruptcy, but never provided any additional information. So the underwriter wants to know, you answered yes to bankruptcy. Please provide the date the last judgment was settled. Okay? Or we can do it in the form of a question. When was the last judgment settled? And make it a form of a question is fine. And save and continue. And I can ask more questions, but in this case, for the sample, I'll just do one. Save and continue. And now an email's been sent to the client. And that email should come in within a few more seconds. When the client gets the email, they'll be asked to authenticate, click on the link, and instead of filling out a form or missing information on the form, they'll be asked to answer the question to the underwriter. And when they answer the question, they'll be able to immediately get the information back to the underwriter, so there's no chasing down emails and phone calls. It's all an integrated, controlled process. So here it is. Dear Robert Jones, we need this information. I'm clicking on the link. What is your date of birth? I'm going to say 01/02/1965. See, I told you you could use any one of those fields to authenticate. So I'm going to authenticate. And here it is. You answered yes to bankruptcy. When was the last judgment settled? I'm going to say May 23rd, 2014. Save and continue. I answered the question. Now I'm going to sign. So not only did I authenticate I was the person, but also marking down when the answer came in and the IP address, date and time. Click finish. And then the same thing's going to happen. The agent will now get a notification that we'll get an email notification that the client answered the question, and they'll see the question with the answer. And at the same time, if I go to my dashboard as the underwriter, I look at view requests, and I see Robert Jones and signed the form. I didn't put a case number in, just a policy number. And I click done. So you can see how quick eRequirement captures additional forms, missing answers to questions on previously submitted forms, signatures via e-signature, and requesting additional information from clients for underwriting purposes. eRequirement is secure, compliant, and the agent is immediately notified of the updated status. It can be used by carriers or distributors. It's easy to track and follow up on those outstanding underwriting requirements. eRequirement can even be used for delivery requirements for those agents who don't want to use an e-delivery system so they can get referrals in person. The delivery process would be accelerated significantly by using eRequirement for signatures on policy acknowledgement receipts, policy amendments, and collecting balance of premium due using an EFT form. With eRequirement, you get faster cycle time, more control, place more business, and completely automate requirement processing. For more information, call 402-740-7356 or send an email to ken@insurtechexpress.com. Thank you.